with everything officially official, how are you feeling?
Feel really good. I'm excited to get to work and keep going from here.
I know you guys aren't playing in summer league, but you're still going to be with the team. What are some of the things you're hoping to take away from this experience?
One is just kind of watching how the coaches coach and kind of how it turns out on the floor. So there's a list of things that the coaches want us to look for. Some things that we really emphasize in our offense and our defense, and even just situations that Ty and I will be looking at and trying to get a hold of.
What are some of those things that they're emphasizing with you?
Without revealing too much, spacing, how we handle end of quarter, end of late clock situations, and just stuff like that. And even little things into where the inbounder holds the ball at his hips or above his shoulders. So there's a lot of little things. It's a big list.
Are you bummed that you can't play?
Yeah, because obviously being the competitors that we all want to get out there and play. And we had our eyes on this being our first kind of little taste of NBA action, but in conversations with the front office and just between Ty and myself, we've kind of cleared some things up and just exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. And at this point we're still working. It's not like we're taking days off. It's not like we're chilling. We're lifting, working out with some of the other guys. So we're still getting some good work in.
Taking things back to draft night a little bit, we all saw Kobe's video kind of went viral reacting to how happy he was for you and everything. What was your reaction to that and just the whole kind of process of trade back and now you're getting picked, you're going to Phoenix, kind of that whirlwind?
At first, it was kind of funny to me just because, that's a side of Kobe that not everybody sees, but that's the Kobe we saw in the locker room every day, and he gets really excited. And to see another guy who just got picked to have that much excitement over something that's going on a little bit outside of his personal bubble at the time is really incredible, and it kind of speaks to the kind of bond we have at Carolina.
Have you been able to connect with him while you guys have both been here?
Not yet, but I'm watching him a little bit. He's on the screen right now. I saw him get a nice bucket, so that was good to see. But I'm sure I will at some point, and I'm sure a lot of the Carolina guys will get together at some point out here.
You talked about how the front office has a plan to change the culture or desire to change the culture. They picked you instead of you picking them, so it's not like recruiting. But did it feel like a sales pitch? Did it feel like recruiting in some ways?
No.
The way they were spinning spinning's definitely the wrong.
I see what you're asking. And no, it doesn't really feel like a recruiting pitch. Everything that they've done is in accordance with everything they told me. And sometimes in recruiting, that stuff gets real jumbled up there. But I really like everything that the coaches have said, the front office has said, and in terms of changing the culture, I just think winning attitude, and a lot of the guys that we've talked to just are real positive. So it's not just coaches and front office people, it's players that are also really excited about the change, and the more buy-in there is all around, then the better off it'll be.
What have you learned just from the coaching staff so far, getting a chance to be around Monty and the whole group?
One, I really like the way they attack every day. Their energy is great. Energy and workouts has been great, and just bringing a workman-like attitude to each workout is probably the thing that's first and foremost. And then there's a lot of little concepts we're putting in, and obviously the game at this level is a little bit different than how it's been played on previous levels. So they're putting in some of our principles offensively, some of our defensive schemes right now, and we'll look to pick those up going forward.
What does the rest of your summer look like?
That's a very good question. We are really playing it by ear right now. Obviously a lot of workouts, settling into Phoenix, which I'm really excited about. Maybe go home for a little bit and see the family before I head back out.
Can you just explain what the 2 weeks between the draft and standing here right now were like? Because you were in a weird state of limbo that a lot of draft picks aren't in. So what was
it was so the one thing that I was told was just to lay low. So as much as I wanted to go out there, I wanted to play pickup. I was back at Carolina for a week. There was alumni games and all that I didn't really take part in. So I was told to lay low, which I did, but it was just a lot of court workouts, maybe a little bit of one-on-one every now and then, and a lot of lifting. So just kind of staying under the radar, but continue to work.
I'm curious what you make of the perception that older guys coming into the league like yourself, just kind of being underrated maybe in the draft or underrated coming into the league, and just kind of where you see your place in all of that.
I say this all the time, and I think people have different developmental trajectories, and a big thing about being old is you're viewed as someone that doesn't have much potential, like a finished product. You are what you are. You're not going to get much better. But I think it's not the case. I think there's plenty of you know, people that are younger, maybe 18, 19, 20, 21, that have hit their ceiling, where there's plenty of 21, 22, 23-year-olds who have plenty of room to grow. And I feel like my game has a lot of room to expand, and I can sit there and watch film with you and point out every which way I feel like I can improve. And I'm working on it, and I think over the course of my couple years in college and since the end of high school that I've improved on. So, you know, age is something that I can't change. I can't change the fact that I'm 23, but I can work on what I need to work on and show you that, you know, I'm not at my ceiling right now.
Where are you better, though, now as a 23-year-old as opposed to 22 or 21?
Oh, everywhere. You know, even look back a year, I was coming off of some surgeries this time last year. So even before that, you know, my junior year of college, just in terms of mobility, agility, speed and explosiveness of all have changed drastically, much more than you expect a 22-year-old to change in the matter of 1 year. Shooting the ball is just constantly little things that I work on, and handling the ball defensively much better. So I feel like my game overall improved a lot from junior year to senior year in college.
Forgive me, this is kind of a weird question, but one thing that rookies tend to talk about is the NBA ball seems to feel different than the college ball.
It is
Did you
much
struggle with
different.
that at all?
No, it just takes me some time to just get used to it. And the good thing is that the NBA obviously is just one basketball. Thing about college is you'll play with a Nike basketball one day, next game you're playing with the Wilson, the next game you're playing with an Under Armour, next game you're playing with Adidas. And they'll have different feels, different shapes, and even slightly different weights. I remember, I forget which ball it was, the Wilson, the NCAA ball is slightly heavier than the Nike balls that we play with, and you can tell as soon as you pick it up and shoot it for the first time, everybody's short, like all throughout practice. So to not have to deal with that anymore is great, and getting used to this ball, you know, it's been good. It's been good for me. And, you know, the longer I play with it, the better I'll feel with it.
Is it nice to be able to be teammates with Ty Jerome instead of having a game plan for Ty Jerome now?
Yeah. Anybody who plays in the ACC knows that Virginia is not a team you want to face. And, you know, just because, especially with us at Carolina, we want to get up and down, we want to run, we want to put up 100 points. And Virginia wants to hold you to under 50. So that's a big clash of styles right there. But I've had a lot of respect for his game. You know, ever since his freshman year, I remember playing him. And I'm glad to be on his team now.
Yeah, when you see the Suns trade back into the first round and take him, you're like, okay.
Yep. I was like, you know, and I can see it. You know, he's a really good player. Obviously national champion, so he's a proven winner. And just everything he brings to the table from an IQ standpoint and decision making. And, you know, he's a tough guard. He's a really tough guard out there on the court. And, you know, a couple guys have learned that the hard way.